All right. Good evening. Good evening, Facebook family. How are you this evening? Um ready for another live show. Shifting mindsets, right? Yes. OMG. I'm just ecstatic. Wow. It is another Thursday. And we have a great topic for you tonight. So I need you to tag your friends. I need you to share. Please get them all here, tag to some groups, etc. Wow, we have a power pack show for you tonight. All right, I'm about to bring my guest on. And then we're going to get started. All righty, here we go. Yes, yes, yes. Well, we are blessed and just to have with us this evening Coach T, also
Hey.
known as Tracy. Just ecstatic to have her. And we are going to dive into this topic, hungry for love. So, first, I just want to say welcome to Shifting Mindsets live show, where here we have mindful conversations.
Yeah.
So, this week we have Coach T. She is an extraordinary coach, life coach. Wow. I mean, she would just really get into it. I'm going to give her an opportunity to talk about coaching and what does that mean. Um, and then, not only that, okay, a prayer warrior,
Mm,
minister,
bless you.
prophetic, I just, woo, okay, I'm going to just stop because me, I'll just throw a
Um,
little bit out there here and there. But in her own right, such an honor to be able to share the platform with you tonight. And please, Tracy, go ahead.
Dr. LaShonne, thank you so much for having me on. Like, I get to serve with you on tonight. I'm so excited about that. It's an honor. Thank you for sharing your platform with me. Um, to your audience out there, Dr. LaShonne she's my bestie. She's my prayer warrior. She's my spiritual mentor. She's my ride or die. So tonight is very, very special to me, to be serving. Once again, we used to serve in ministry several years ago, and here we
Yes.
are doing the work of the Lord on tonight. And so I'm just happy to be here. I'm looking forward to all the questions to come in. Let's have this conversation. Hungry for love.
Yes, yes, most definitely. Um, so, you know, I want you first just to take a brief moment just to talk about life coaching.
Okay.
Um, what does that look like? And, why do we need it?
So, coaching is about a
Mhm.
process of rediscovering the whys in your life.
Mm. Mhm.
Rediscovering the whys, why am I where I am today?
Mhm.
Why did I make the career choice I made? Why did I choose to be an entrepreneur? Why did I
Mhm.
choose to be a mom? Like rediscovering the whys. Or
Yes.
why am I feeling overwhelmed? Why am I feeling stuck? You know,
Mm.
why don't I feel like I'm being heard? Why do I feel like I'm being misunderstood?
Uh-oh.
So it's all about rediscovering your whys,
Mhm.
and your whys come from the choices that you make.
Yes.
So, I say, when you're making choices, make your choices out of your hopes and dreams and not your fears,
Ah, that's good.
not that lonely place,
Mhm.
not that uncertain place, but
Mhm.
make choices out of your hopes and your dreams and not your fears. So with coaching, I pride myself on creating a safe place where people can come, we get together, and this is what we do. We disconstruct, we disrupt,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
discuss, we resolve your concerns and challenges, because we have to be mindful of the noise of life,
Yes.
in
Yes.
addition to the noise in our mind. Because
Oh,
these things, starts in the mind.
come
Because
on.
these are the things that get in our way. So coaching is about, let's come together. Let's come
Hmm.
together and rediscover the whys, and we identify obstacles. We identify our objective. We identify our goals. We explore options and possibilities.
Hmm.
And then we take action. We create an
Yes.
action plan. We review it, we learn it, we come back together and we discuss it, because I want to unleash the unlimited potential in you while you're achieving your true potential.
Oh, that's good right there.
Right? Because here's what I don't want us to do. Sometimes we get stagnant because you know
Hmm.
what? It's comfortable.
Hmm.
It's comfortable. We know how to maneuver through that thing.
Hmm.
I don't want you to park there. You're not supposed to park there.
Come on.
You're not supposed to park there. So coaching can help you do that. We meet you where you are. We meet you in the why. We meet you right in the
Yes.
why. And so
Hmm.
let's rediscover the why, because it's the inner supernatural ability we want to manifest itself to bring the results that you desire. So,
Yes.
Dr. LaShonne, don't you get me this talking, girl. Mm-mm. So coaching is for anyone and everyone, whether you
Yes.
are approaching, and first of all, it's COVID-19,
Right.
right? So we have all had to pivot in
Hmm.
some shape, form, or fashion. And
Hmm.
so what we have learned, I hope, is that we have done some things that we said we couldn't do.
Hmm.
We have done some things that we said we didn't want to do. And so
Yes.
doing that, we have found ourselves into our fears,
Come on. Come on.
leaning into our fears. And if you think about it, we've been pretty successful at that.
Yes.
Was it the
Hmm.
push? Was it the jump that we had to take, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, just remembering that endless possibilities await us. They really, really do. But, sometimes I even ask my clients, are you stuck or are you comfortable? Are you stuck
Oh.
or, you know,
Hmm.
you just don't want to move?
Right. That
Are
part
you
right
stuck?
there.
Right, 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 right. Are you stuck or are you just not moving because it's
Hmm.
comfortable? Because fear is powerful. Fear is powerful. So guess
Hmm.
what? Let's talk about fear because
Yes.
it's real.
Hmm.
It's real. And so in this hungry for love, really you need to know who you are. It starts with who are you?
Yes.
Who are you? And it's
Hmm.
you are not Dr. LaShonne.
Mm-mm.
You are a mom,
Yes.
you are a daughter,
Hmm.
you are a doctor,
Yes.
you are IT specialist, guru. I don't even know the other names I can, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Spiritual warfare woman. I mean, just a woman of God.
Hmm.
So that's who you are. Right.
Hmm.
And then you start talking about your principles and your characteristics, because
Yes.
sometimes people say, well, who are you? And you say,
Hmm.
no, that's not who you are. That's your name.
Right. That's your
So
name.
knowing who we are,
Yes.
that's where it starts, knowing who we are. And so in knowing who we are, that speaks to what we've been through,
Hmm.
what we were exposed to, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you take it. Well, I run away with it.
You know
Oh,
how
you
we
know how we
do.
do.
You know how we do. We okay. We just flow.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as I really thought about this topic,
Mhm.
um, hungry for love.
Mhm.
Now, you all on here, I want you, if you have questions that come up, definitely please put them in the chat and
Mhm.
give us some hearts and some wow emojis. We just want to increase the interaction. We know this is a great conversation and we want more people to be able to take part in this.
Yes.
So, hungry for love. When I really thought
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
this, I was like, wow, hungry for love. What
Mhm.
what is that really saying? What
Yeah.
does that really mean? I'm like, okay, God help me. Because it got me to thinking, wait a minute, there were some places in my life because of that hunger. Huh, it
Mhm.
caused me to make decisions or go down a path or take a track that I could have avoided had
Mhm.
I not been uh, with this hunger.
Mhm.
I don't even want to call it hunger because when you say hunger, like that's supposed to be good, right? I'm expecting a good meal,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
hungry for love, it's like, oh no. And and the more I just unwrapped it and I looked into it, and I was like, so were there places where I had missed affection?
Mhm.
And I'm talking about growing up,
Mhm. Mhm.
nurturing, um, not giving the validation needed,
Mhm.
all of those different elements, and not realizing that because those things were lacking,
Mhm.
it caused a deterioration inside that I couldn't even see.
Mm,
But
that's good.
because so the deterioration happened, but it was also the catalyst, not even the catalyst. It was what was used to then make the decisions and the responses
Mhm.
and that I did.
Mhm. Yes.
Go ahead.
Hungry for
Take
love.
it, take it, take it, take it.
you know, it kind of goes back to what I was just saying too. Are you stuck or are you refusing to move? So because when
Yes.
we want something and we desire something, hungry means, we desire something. We're yearning for something, and
Mm-hmm.
guess what? We're eager for it. And we just
Mm-hmm.
might be desperate for it.
Oh
And
yeah.
it comes because we are, as you said, we're looking for that validation. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking for that attention. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking for those compliments. And so I say, no matter what we've been through, let's just not hold on to our history at the expense of our destiny. Number one, right? And
Wait,
so
wait,
even
wait. Can you say that part again? About his, you slipped that one in there. You was back up.
no, I really,
His,
really, let's not hold on to our history at the
uh-huh.
expense of our destiny.
At the expense of our destiny.
You know,
Oh, that's
let,
good.
yes, let's take some of the nutrients out of our
Mm-hmm.
history and put them into the present, because
Yes.
those things we can use as indicators, as
Mm-hmm.
as boundaries. So when we talk about hungry for love, that means that we're yearning for something, we're missing something, we're lacking something.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the more reasons why we need to know who we are,
Yes.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's a different set of boundaries we need to set, as opposed to the boundaries we set for ourselves, period, whether they're
Yes.
our values, they're our principles, or our beliefs. So
Mm-hmm.
we know that we are in that vulnerable place where we
Mm-hmm.
desire. It's nothing wrong with desiring to be loved. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
some people never experience it and desire to experience it. That's okay, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But while we're waiting, we got to
Come
wait
on.
well. We have
Come
to
on.
wait well,
Come on.
right? And so that's knowing who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, in knowing who we are, then we have to say, okay, I need to set some boundaries, because this is
Mm-hmm.
a desire of mine, whether we think our biological clock is ticking, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? There can be so
Mm-hmm.
many variables to that, right? We still
Right.
need to know who we are and where we are in our lives.
Yes. Yes.
Then we can set boundaries. So,
Mm-hmm.
maybe when you met this person, and so I'm going to speak about relationships right now, and then I'm going to talk about friendships, because this goes with friendships too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we may have had some bad friendships in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really all about taking the nutrients out of what we experience. There was some,
Ah.
there were some good things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
use them as teachable moments and
Mm-hmm.
indicators as we
Mm-hmm.
set the boundaries that we need.
Yes.
So let's just say I'm hungry and I want that. I want that attention. I want somebody to share the rest of my life with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like this thing is consuming me, right? Then
Yes.
I need to set some boundaries. Okay. When
Mm-hmm.
you first meet this person,
Mm-hmm.
don't be so quick to let them in your house.
Come on. That's
Right?
right. That's
Don't be
right.
so don't be so quick to, to be careful about how available you are in the beginning.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Be careful of that for you,
Yes.
for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Because when somebody you meet somebody, you're excited about it. They start calling. You're looking forward to those calls, or they start.
Mm-hmm.
They text you in the morning and say good morning. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, wow. They're
Mm-hmm.
really
Get up
into me.
checking the phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you like that. Guess what? I like
Mm-hmm.
it too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but one thing my pastor told me, is that you need to date somebody for all 4 seasons.
Yes.
You need to go through a season with them
Mm-hmm.
to see who they
Mm-hmm.
really are and to see
Mm-hmm.
who you really are.
Yes.
But it's most importantly, we have to set some boundaries for us, and whatever that is. If you know that you're quick to buy them something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe hold off on that.
Right.
If you're quick to invite them over, hold
Mm-hmm.
off on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when I say know who you are, know what you want. What is your love language? Start there. What is your love language?
Yes. Yes.
There's 5 love languages, right? So
Mm-hmm.
is yours quality times and acts of service?
Mm-hmm.
Is yours physical touch and words of affirmation?
Mm-hmm.
You need to know that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
in knowing that and knowing how you like to be loved, you respond that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but I'll come back.
It's okay.
So let me talk about this love language, because we tend to love the way we desire to be loved.
Yes.
We
Mm-hmm.
do. We tend to love the way we desire to be loved. But it's important that we know our partner's love language
Yes. Mm-hmm.
so that we can love them the way they desire to be loved. Now, that
Yes.
right there is a good recipe, a good
Mm-hmm.
foundation to
Mm-hmm.
build on. And so I tell the men this, that, I coach and that I have classes with, because I teach domestic violence and so forth and so on, that the love language is just a good place to start.
Yes.
Right? You know what you like, you know what you don't like, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a perfect place to start. What is your love language? And so
Yes.
really it's about those initial conversations when we meet people that we
Mm-hmm.
need to have.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have them, because I'd rather know now what I'm up against than to wait until I'm emotionally involved.
Yes, exactly.
And then, I have to step back
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't ask some of those questions. I'm not saying ask them out the gate, but ask them before you begin to let your guard down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to know if they have a relationship with God, do they go to church? Whatever those things, whatever those values and principles and morals are, you need to know. You need to know.
Yes.
But you got to know
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and you got to set boundaries for yourself, especially if you're vulnerable. If you're vulnerable, you need to set some boundaries for yourself. And especially if you're coming out of something. Let's just say, even if you've been divorced and haven't been really in a serious relationship in some years,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet someone and it's like, it wakes something up in the inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is awesome, because
Right.
when I say don't hold on to your history at the expense of your destiny, that
Mm-hmm.
was the past. We learned some things from it and we're moving
Right.
forward
And move on.
and move on. So
Mm-hmm.
knowing who we are first, and then we have to set those boundaries. And the only people that get mad about you setting boundaries is the people that cross them.
Yes.
It's the people that overstep them.
Those that
It's
overstep
the
them.
people that overstep them. So knowing who you are and where you are emotionally and
Mm-hmm.
mentally is very, very good. And use some of the past experiences as some indicators of what's going on. Oh, I done been down that road before.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to approach it? Because
Mm-hmm.
I just believe communication is just key. I know we hear it all the time, but we're not doing it. We're not having conversation.
Yes.
We're not
That part.
having that part right there.
Mm-hmm.
That part right there,
Mm-hmm. It
because
would
there's
avoid a lot of things if we did
absolutely,
take time
because
to have the conversation.
there's a
Mm.
different conversation when you're 20. There's a different conversation when you're 30.
Come on.
There's a different conversation when you're 40. And when you're 50, listen,
Okay.
50, we talking about retirement. Okay, now how many pills you taking? You get your regular checkups. See, Dr. LaShonne, you better go ahead now. Go ahead, go ahead. So,
Now you really just really stepped into some stuff right there. We
what you
gotta
saying over
have
here in
these.
the chat? I want to hear what they saying over here.
We gotta have, these conversations.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what I found when, so we're talking about hungry for love, but we're not having the necessary conversation.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
And I find that, you meet someone new and I get that piece. But then if we would, so something you said was key, and that's ignoring the red flags. Let's not do that. And the other piece is, asking those questions.
Mhm.
And they're very strategic questions. I'm not talking about 5 months down the road, because as you said, by then you're emotionally involved.
Absolutely.
After you
Absolutely.
get through, the initial hello and how you, and do you have a car? Do you have a house?
That
Okay,
part right there.
right.
That part right there.
Okay.
Listen,
Then
conversation
we
change.
need to get into, what is your credit score? Okay. Do you have retirement? You got 401k? Okay. See,
Listen, I'm in my 50s. I'm asking a whole different question. That questions are different. Like I said, they're different when you're in your 30s. Even the type of man that you want. It's
hmm
different, right? You got this long laundry list that, you got me this six pack doing this, that, and then when you get 30, the thing come down just a little bit.
uh-huh.
You know
Right.
it won't. And then when you hit 50, it's like, whoop. You're really down to what really matters. And so
What
that's
really
where
matters?
we should be. But may I answer a question in the chat? There was someone
Mm-hmm.
that asked, if I'm not mistaken,
Let me see.
how do I
Mhm.
get out of the comfortable place? Did someone ask that? Dr.
Oh, there it
LaShonne, can
is.
you
Let me
put
put
me
it
over
up
there?
on the screen. There we go.
Somebody did ask that, right?
Mm-hmm. Miss Willa, how do you move out of that comfortable space?
Moving out of the comfortable space takes loving yourself.
Oh.
It takes loving yourself
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that you're worthy,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you are enough just
Mm-hmm.
the way you are,
Mm-hmm.
right? And begin to trust that intuition.
Ah,
See,
come
that
on.
intuition, we have to nurture that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Mm-hmm.
we nurture anything else, we have to
Mm-hmm.
nurture intuition. How do you nurture that? Pay attention, because our intuition is spot on.
It's on.
It's spot on. And guess what? It hurts sometimes and there's an ouch. But the way you get out of the comfortable place is to trust yourself.
Ah,
And when you lean into the unknown, when you lean into it, most of the time you get to create that thing.
that's
The way you
right.
want it to flow, the way you want it to go, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's new,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you get to shape and mold that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing to that question is, first of all, love yourself and
Mm-hmm.
trust yourself. Trust yourself.
So I want to ask a follow-up question.
Yes.
How do I love myself?
Oh, doctor,
Because
doctor,
you
doctor.
I grew up, and this is how, and so you have the extreme, right? You have the only child, you have where there were two, 3, 5, 10, etc., or the one that there might have been 3 around the same age and then 5 more around the same age. I'm just trying to really mix it up here.
Because
But then
there's
there
a diverse diversity of that.
and then there were some that had to take care of all the little ones.
Mhm.
So, that I may not have gotten that love growing up.
Mhm.
How do I love myself?
Mhm. 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 Are you asking?
Yes.
Okay. you know, Going back to the lady that asked about, how do I get out of the comfortable place?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really about knowing that you're worthy. Like
Mm.
there's nothing, you know, far-fetched that you really need to pay attention to and that you really need to do. You just need to love you.
Mm.
And loving you is knowing you.
Ah, come on.
Self-care. Self-care
Yes.
is important. Self-care is
Mm-hmm.
going to the doctor,
Mm-hmm.
getting your annual physicals.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel well, go to the doctor. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you like your mani and your pedis, but guess what? And even if you can't afford them, listen, I went through a season where I couldn't afford them. Well, let me say this. I went through a season where that was no longer a priority for me. Other
Uh-huh.
things were.
Right.
I bought me one of them foot things you can sit down, and on Sundays, I sat
Mm-hmm.
down, I filled it up, and I watched football. And I did my own petty. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
even though we can't pay for it, that's not an excuse of not to do it.
Ah, come on.
That's not an excuse of not to take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you like to travel and there's things that you like to do, plan for that.
Yes.
Plan for that. I used to say, well, I can't afford that. Speak those things that are not as though they were.
Mm-hmm.
And you are exactly what you say.
Yes.
So I am blessed. I am highly favored.
Come
I
on.
am the heir of his throne.
I am
Come on now.
the head, not the tail.
Come on.
I am
I am the
above.
lender and not the borrower.
Come on, I am.
You know what I mean? So really, so loving yourself. You tell me, what does that mean? What does loving yourself? What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have we talk about happiness, right?
Yes.
Nobody
Mm-hmm.
can make you happy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to tell you. No, I'm not here to tell you. I'm here to confirm what you already know, ladies. Nobody can make you happy. They add to your happiness. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? People can tell when you're unhappy. Hungry for love.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell when you're thirsty,
Mm-hmm.
when you're hungry.
Yes.
And unfortunately, people will prey on that. So
Yes.
it's so important that we're confident in who we are, that we're standing in our truth. Our
Come
truth
on.
is our truth. Our reality is our reality.
Mm-hmm.
Can't nobody take that from you, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You begin to shape and mold that thing the way you want. How do
Mm-hmm.
you want to show up in life? How
Yeah.
do you want to be a strong contender in the game of life?
Mm-hmm.
How are you living your true authentic self?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Somebody may have told you growing up that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And you heard that so much, you know what I mean? That you feel like, you know what, I'm not going to say nothing. People are not going to listen to me. They shall not take your voice.
That's right.
No, no, no.
Come on.
Because we all have something valuable to say. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We all have something valuable to say. I hope I'm answering that question. Can we scroll to the chat for a minute, Doctor? Can you talk and I'll scroll through the chat?
Yes, I will. So I really like that because there and not long ago in my group, I was beginning to talk about self-care and what we need to do and taking that time. And I began to share with the group that I realized I needed to just stop. There were times when um, I would work, and then when work was done, when I finished,
Mhm.
punching the clock, then I would say, okay, well now I need to get in and you know work on embrace the change and do this and reach out and do that.
Mhm.
And I was just constantly, but I realized that I was now in this mode, but
Mhm.
I wasn't taking the time to just stop and just settle and just, breathe for a minute.
Mhm.
And it was a place where it was like, okay, God, what you saying about this and what you saying about that? But I
Mhm.
couldn't hear because
Yeah.
I was not necessarily I was busy, but busyness.
But that's the noise of life. That's
Yes.
the noise of life that I'm talking about. Absolutely. That is life. Life is happening. Life is steady going, right? Whether we're taking care of ourselves or not, whether we're doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it's the noise of life. And so my
Yes.
prayer every day is, Lord, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, I want
Mm-hmm.
to hear you. I want to
Yes.
hear you. I
Mm-hmm.
want to hear you because there's so much going on out here. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about pre-COVID.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
now COVID,
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are we self-medicating?
Oh, that right there.
Especially those of us that are home by ourselves, you know,
Mm-hmm.
no children, we live alone. How have we been self-medicated? Okay, I know that's a whole different thing. I know that's I'm
That's
getting
a
off.
good topic. I know,
Yeah,
right? We need to put that one down for another time.
oh, there's just a lot here. But may I just do a few, please?
Yes, go
And,
ahead.
and thank you. I want to, all right, y'all got a new computer here. I'm trying. Somebody did say Dr. LaShonne cannot be 50.
I
Oh my
responded to that one.
goodness. Dr. LaShawn cannot be 50. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I want to put this up.
Oh, okay. You got something you want to put up?
Go ahead.
Oh, I can read from there. Okay. I don't know where
It's
to
on
read.
the screen.
Okay. What can be done about living on survival love? Ooh, you need to book a coaching session with me. This cannot be stuff right here. That is so good.
That is
What
a good question.
about living on survival love? Wow.
That's good.
That's
Can
that
get
desire.
can we get just a pinch? Not I know that's loaded.
It's loaded, but you know what? It's
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about survival love,
Mm-hmm.
you're really talking about a love that you've experienced.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Living on survival love, a love that you experience in addition to a love that you desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because survival is what? Learning how to
Survive, make it.
make it, do whatever
Mm-hmm.
you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is so good. Oh, it's good.
It is. It is.
Janelle, I'm gonna get you, girl. I'm gonna get you. Put that question back up.
Oh, okay.
I want to see what something else is coming.
Uh-huh.
Living on survival love. Um, just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful. Because you need some boundaries around that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
there is an expectation.
Ah, yes.
There's an
Mm-hmm.
expectation. And
Mm-hmm.
so we want to make sure that our expectations are realistic expectations for the people that we want them from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people don't know how to love. I'm
Yeah.
not saying don't date those people, but if they're willing to learn, hey, listen, that's a win-win,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, in our family, you know, Sean, your family, my family, we're huggers.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're gonna get a hug. You come in my space, I'm gonna
Right.
ask you though. I am gonna ask you, do you mind if I hug you?
Right. Right.
We're huggers. Everybody is not huggers. Everybody's not touchy-feely. You know what I mean? And that still doesn't mean they're not a lovable person. But when you talk about survival love, you have to be careful
Mm-hmm.
because survival means that could mean that you got your guard up, your wall up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be that it could still be there's a yearning there that you're not even acknowledging,
Ah.
and you're calling it survival, and it's really
Mm-hmm.
desire. It could be. It could be. Oh, that's good, Janelle. That's good. What else we got? What else we got?
That's good. That's good. We have this one.
How do you take down the walls to become vulnerable? Yes. And do you have any suggestions to not be in survival mode? Ooh, this is a good one too. Being
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable is just hard.
Yes.
There's no way to put that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to put that. But you know what? We're gonna have to take, I don't want to use the word risk, but
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not letting those past hurts and things prevent us from being loved again. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where the boundaries come in. That's where the healthy boundaries come in. That's where the boundaries come in, where you know the things that you do initially when you meet them, and then 9 months or 3 months when you meet them, 6 months when you meet them, maybe we need to reevaluate what we're doing in those particular times.
Yes.
And don't allow someone else's, your past relationship, don't let them take the power from you, the power of being loved.
Oh, that's good.
Because there's somebody out there that's going to love you the way you desire to be loved. I don't care how old you are. It's never too late for love.
That's true.
But we have to put ourselves out there. We have to put ourselves out there. And so I don't mean, so we're talking about hungry for love. We don't want to put ourselves out there that way, in desperation, eager.
That's right.
Right? We have to put ourselves up there, because guess what? He can feel that you're not open. He can feel that you're holding back, right? So is he.
Yes.
So is he. Because men, they're what? To protect, right? And what else? What else do men do?
To provide.
Protect and provide. That's what they're taught, right? But here's something you need to know we know about men. If they're really into you, they will take you around family. They will take you around friends. You know what I mean? They'll own you.
Yes.
This is my lady, right? And when you're in a relationship with someone that doesn't do that, they're not where you are.
That's a sign. That's a sign.
It just means that they're not where you are, know? And so then you really need to pay attention to that. And so you scale it back and you have the conversation. It depends on how long you all been dating, right? And how old, and so, you kind of look at things that way too. If you feel that it's not being reciprocated, we need to have a conversation.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how to have the conversation. But one needs to be had, because different relationship calls for different topics and different approaches. There's just not one approach to take, but you have to have the conversation, because now you're emotionally feeling some kind of way.
Yes.
You're feeling some kind of way. And guess what? If you don't discuss it, it's going to start seeping out.
That part
right there. And it may come out with you being nagging, and you maybe was never a nagger, and now you start nagging. All because you won't have that conversation. And all you want to know is where we are. Where are we? What are we doing?
Right.
That part right there. What are we doing? So you need to know.
Yes.
Before you can be vulnerable. Or you can open yourself up to it. You need to know where you are. So just be mindful of where you all are. If we're walking down the same lane, are we feeling the same thing?
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if you know that love language too, that comes with action. Whether your love language is physical touch and words of affirmation, I know what my love language is. My love language is quality time and acts of service. I'm just not the kind of chick where I need you by me 24/7. But I don't mind you being in the house where I can come up, say, hey, how you doing? Maybe get a little kiss on the cheek. Hey, ladies, let's keep it real now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And, and then we come together later, but that's just me. But I know who I am. You know what I mean? And a man in my life will have to honor that.
Yes.
You have to honor that. Just like I have to honor him.
Yes.
The door swings both ways.
It goes both ways.
And
that
then
was
good. Service. I tell somebody, I like for somebody to open my car door. And somebody said, well, how do you tell them to do that? I'm just going to tell you, ladies, what has worked for me. I never had to have a conversation. I just sat right there. And they said, oh, okay. And they came and opened the door. And from that point on, they always opened the door for me. So I need a conversation, whereas, I need you to open my door, or I want you to open my door, or you told me that you was romantic. You told me that you was a gentleman. You know what I mean? A gentleman means something different to a man. That's another conversation you need to have. Well, what does a gentleman mean to you?
Right.
Because you need to know what you're getting ready to get. All right. Am I getting off topic? All right.
Oh,
Girl, not supposed to park in uncomfortable. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Oh, you got another question up there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with the ones that come but are camouflaged? Come on now, say that. And don't know they are real or fake. First of all, we all have a representative. Thank you for your question. Thank you very much for your question. We all, the representative in each and every one of us show up.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're being our true authentic selves, some of
Mm-hmm.
us are, right? We have to filter through the fluff.
Yes.
When a person show you who they are, believe them,
Believe it.
believe them, right? And so that doesn't mean don't date them. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean they're not the one. That's information.
Yes.
Information.
It's
So
information.
use that information. Put that question back up, please, doctor. Use that
Okay.
information.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not a flag we're ignoring. That's just information we're ignoring.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen,
Mm-hmm.
if we listen to understand and then be understood, we can have a conversation.
Oh, that's good right there.
We have to listen to understand first and not listen
Mm-hmm.
trying to think of an answer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of the answer we're going to give to the question. We want
Mm-hmm.
to understand. So let me listen to you. What are you saying to me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then I want to be understood because it's
Mm-hmm.
important that you honor me. As I listen to you, you listen to me. Right?
That's
And
right.
so, and when you get to a point where a man is saying, oh, you just whatever, or you're just nagging, or you always say that and just kind of brushing you off. Wait a minute. We all
Mm-mm.
come there. Let's talk about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? You don't normally do that.
That's right.
And it's the way we say it.
Yes.
We don't have to say it confrontational.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to pick and choose your moments.
Yes.
That's why I said when you having I say heated fellowship. When you having an argument, a disagreement, my
Mm-hmm.
advice is stick to the issue.
Yes.
Stick to the issue because you want to
Mm-hmm.
resolve that. And don't
Mm-hmm.
come up with, they came in late and you don't take the trash out and
Mm-hmm.
no, because now you
Mm-hmm.
lost. And now
Or
he
try to
just
pull a
feel like,
list out.
right. And now he just feel like, oh, here she go.
There she go.
And these are some things we've never been taught, or we just, we know and we just haven't had the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but they're important. So wait a minute, she said, so how do you feel with the one, come camouflage? Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, we all come with a representative and you have to listen. Because if
Yeah.
you listen, people gonna tell you who they are. And it's
It
not gonna
will.
take long.
It
And I don't
won't.
care how old you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening to them, oh yeah. That's all it is. You just have to listen because
Mm-hmm.
they're coming. They're coming, and don't fall for the detour
Do not fall for the detour.
because the counterfeit can be the detour to your destiny. Oh,
Ooh.
God, have your way, Lord.
Where my
The
shoe?
counterfeit can be the detour to your destiny.
Yes.
Come on now. Yes.
Oh, that was good.
Some things are worth waiting for.
Isn't that the
Trust and
truth?
believe, and not trying to be, we are spiritual women here, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the woman that's out there, it's true. Listen, if it's good for you, it's worth waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
And just trust and believe that the one that's coming is being shaped and molded just like you are. If you
Yes.
because we have to look back in the past and figure out what were some of those things we were doing too.
Don't
What
leave
were some
that
of those
part
things
out.
we were doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
contributed to that because we didn't want to hear those things that we were doing because we were so consumed with what they weren't doing.
Ah,
Mhm.
the
That part.
vocal was off. Okay.
Yeah. What else you have? What else you have? I'm sorry, Dr.
So
LaShonne. These are some good comments and stuff.
they are, they are. I want to bring this up,
Yes, ma'am.
but I want to say this before we respond to what's on the screen. Um, and that is No. Go ahead and let's deal with the screen first. From my experience, having boundaries and standards can ease fears of the unknown, but healing from past hurts is a must to letting down walls.
Say that, Lisa. And I don't need to say nothing else. Thank you,
That was
Lisa.
good. That
You know,
was good, girl.
Kimberly said, are you stuck or are you comfortable? Are you
Mm.
stuck or are you unwilling to move?
Oh
Absolutely
yeah. Mm-hmm.
comfortable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
So I wanted to throw this out there. We talk about hungry for love,
mhm,
and I find that, we're kind of using a play on words, right?
right.
We it's not the good hunger. It's
Mhm,
the one where we need to be fixed in an area.
mhm,
And so there are times when um we'll love a person, but then we're being treated badly,
mhm,
horribly.
mhm,
And different ones will come and say, why do you let them treat you, him or her treat you that way? And why do you continue? And but then it's like, no, but they love me and I love them. And but they continue to just stay in that cycle.
mhm.
Can you speak to that?
It's what they know. It's all,
Mm, mm-hmm,
I teach domestic violence,
mm-hmm,
and whew, some of the stories that I've heard would just blow your minds. But in keeping the integrity of some of the things that I've heard, um, the reality of it is people stay because
mm-hmm,
it's what they've seen, is what they know to be
mm-hmm.
their normal, right? That's
Ah,
one thing is what they, yeah. The other thing is they think they love themselves. They don't love themselves because
mm-mm,
this is why I say that, because they
mm-hmm,
don't know that they're worthy. They don't know that they're just enough the way they are. I don't care if you have a gap in your mouth. I mean, come on, it's some of those things that people prey on that say,
mm-hmm,
that make you feel bad. People are cruel.
mm-hmm,
Hurt people,
mm-hmm.
right?
Come
And
on.
so we even love out of hurt. We think that we healed and delivered and set free. And when something happens, that little thing rears its ugly head, we need to
Mm-hmm.
deal with it. So let's just say hypothetically, we go into a relationship and we're talking about being vulnerable.
Right.
And so if you know that you have a concern, I ain't gonna say a problem, I'm gonna say a
Mm-hmm.
concern
Okay.
with trust,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when they ask you in the beginning, normally a conversation, may go, something like, well, why did you and your ex break up?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I use those moments to see, I'm good at probing. Listen, I'm trying not to waste my time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying not to waste my
Right.
time. So
Mm-hmm.
here's what I'll say, well, in my past relationship, he broke my trust with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not allowing that to come into this relationship,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm more aware.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using my words carefully
Yes.
because I want to see what he says. Because here's the thing we do, we tell them, we may say that, we have problems with trust. Some
Mm-hmm.
people will play on that,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they do something. They'll say, oh, girl, you got a problem with trust. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just do a little sidebar, ladies. We shouldn't do that with men. It's,
Right.
it's hard enough for them to be vulnerable. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard enough for them to open up and talk. And when
That's
you
true.
start throwing things back up in their face, and we do that because we're hurt, pretty much, because you've hurt us. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm telling you, they're gonna shut down.
Right.
Now, is that right? Because they do it to us. I'm just throwing out a little nugget. That's all. Just throwing out a little nugget. You
Mm-hmm.
know. But so we do it because that's what we know. That's our norm. Because we self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Self-esteem plays a role in that too. And
Yes.
so let's talk about self-esteem for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Who defines self-esteem? So something happens
Mm-hmm.
and somebody may say, you know what? You're a very nice person. You know what? I enjoyed you. You know, you ought to step out there a little bit more. You know, you think it might be a self-esteem issue, and you might latch on to that.
Mm.
And then you say, you know what? I need to work on my self-esteem. Says who? Says
Say
that one
who?
person. Right? So what I'm trying to say is we define self-confidence.
Yes.
We define it. We set the rules for it.
Mm-hmm.
We set the boundaries for it.
Yes.
I'm not saying that we don't have that some of us don't have self-confidence. I'm not saying that. I
Mm-hmm.
need to know where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it come from? Does it come from somebody telling you something?
Oh.
Right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we need to, what's the word I want to use, doctor? The person that's telling it to us, we need to
Mm-hmm.
make sure they are right too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because
And not
sometimes we speak what we hear.
come on.
We speak what we hear. So if we hear that, oh, because she's shy, she has low self-esteem. No, she's shy. That's just what she is. She's shy.
Mm-hmm.
It
That's
doesn't
it.
mean doesn't have self-esteem. So self-esteem, we define it. We set the rules for it. We
Mm-hmm.
do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yes. I hope I answered your question.
You did. So I can put my glasses back on for this here. Woo. Um, deficiencies. Now, this really got me as I was just dwelling on this topic.
Mhm.
Deficiencies in love can cause one to not be able to accept authentic love.
Mm. Wow, doctor. Talk about that. That's good.
Deficiencies
Efficiency.
in
Let's just
love.
talk about what deficiency means.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Deficiency is when there is a place of lack of nutrient.
Mhm.
Um, it's below standard.
Mhm.
It's below qualification.
Mm.
And so if your love is not at the level that God set, see, God is love.
Woo.
Okay. In my group, I talked about unconditional love.
Yo, I feel a preach coming, y'all. Just
I did. I did. I was like,
okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I did. I was like, okay, let me hold my seat. Whoo.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, doctor.
But the God is love, and He defines love. You know, we always refer back to First Corinthians, and we talk about, love is kind. Love doesn't is not puffed up. It doesn't brag. It
Mhm.
doesn't showboat.
Oh,
It
that's good.
doesn't put you down.
Yeah.
None of those things.
Mhm.
And I think about how just on a daily basis, just even from a stranger, right? Somebody crossing the street, or okay, I'm driving in DC. They cut me off. Yes, I blew my horn. I'm just gonna tell you now, I blew my horn. Okay, whew, I got that out. But the deficiency in love, I really feel that it can cause one not to be able to receive or accept the authentic love. Because, see, when authentic love comes, your mind or your brain will say, that's not love. It really
Or,
is, but it's
or
never been, you've never experienced it.
exactly. Or that ain't real. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
He gonna change up in a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is authentic. This is real love. This is genuine. I mean, love is not like, so the $120, right? You hold it up to the light and you look for the sign that say $100, right? You you can't do that with love. But yes, you can. Because speak, Father. But when you take, I wish I had my magnifying glass. But when we take the lens of God, because God is love, and then see that person through there, then it's like, oh, wait a minute, that is authentic. I think back to, I'm dating myself here. Years ago, we had the 3D glasses. I'm not talking about the new 3D movies. I'm talking about the one where this side was blue and this side was red. And we would put them on and trying to see, and it took both of those together. But if we would look through the lenses of the Father, then we would begin to see, oh my goodness, this is all. Oh, it is real. Wow. I can see clearly.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, Doctor. If we just look at our past experiences and some of the things that we've gone through, and I don't want to say compare it, but look at what we have now, can't we be able to gauge if this is authentic and real? We should.
We should.
We should.
But that goes back to the
looking out those. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That was good. No, that was good.
It goes back to the deficiency. We should be able to see it.
But then it goes back also to being vulnerable, because we have this
wall. The wall.
The wall. Because listen, you didn't. I've been hurt now, and the hurt is real. We can't negate that. The hurt is real.
It is.
Right? And it takes a moment for us to process that, walk through that. You know what I mean? It takes a moment, and then it also plays a factor in us being vulnerable. That deficiency.
Come on.
That camouflage. Like somebody, right? Yeah. This is good, Doctor.
So I know, like for me, having that moment to be vulnerable again after, dealing with a hurt, and it took a while, because first I had to get through the hurt, but to become vulnerable again, what I end up doing was I did a little bit at a time. I took a little step, and then I took another. I said, oh, okay, I can do this. And then I took another step. And so I would say, just to kind of piggyback on what you said earlier about being vulnerable, it's the exact same thing where we have to, take those steps.
Yes, ma'am. I agree. I agree. I agree. There are a couple of things before you go that just fell in my spirit that I thought I would share, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I think I might have said it all.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
How does one rise above this unhealthy hunger?
First, you got to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it. And then once you acknowledge that you are in that place, right? You also, in acknowledging that you're in that place, you're also acknowledging that you're in a vulnerable state right now. Because it's something you desire, right? And so that's why the boundaries are important, because usually when we want something, we're going for it.
Yes.
Right? But when it comes to love, we got to wait well.
Yes.
We got to wait well. And we have to, in knowing ourselves, when you know yourself, you walk better, you talk better. There's a level of a surety that you walk in.
Yes.
because I know that I am a lovable person. I know what I'm bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In,
Exactly.
in addition to knowing who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Exactly. Exactly. I
mm,
love that. I definitely wanted, before we sign off, just to leave people with, a good moment, a good word. And I want to just give you this opportunity, just to give some closing remarks, maybe a summary, whatever's on your heart.
mm-hmm. Okay. First of all, thank you so much. I just have enjoyed this. Ladies, thanks for the comments. You know, just remember to live your life. Live your life and don't allow the past experiences, hurts, disappointments to prevent you from living and loving and laughing, right? Um, and maybe some of these things have happened to help you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they've happened, things happen for a reason, and so my suggestion should be that we need to live our lives more intentional
Mm-hmm.
and be more strategic about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just simply answering, asking the hard questions, realizing what our blind spots are, because sometimes we have blind spots that we
Mm-hmm.
don't see, but be open to someone giving us that constructive criticism,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, Lean into your intuition.
Yes.
It's not going to steer you wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to hurt sometimes. The truth hurts. But begin to nurture that intuition so that you know that you know that you know when something is happening. Intuition, hey, listen, it doesn't lead us wrong, ladies. It doesn't lead us wrong. Um, my other thing I wanted to say is that for all those out there who haven't been told they've been loved or they're enough or they're worthy, I stand in proxy for them on tonight. You are love. You are love. You are the word love.
Mm-hmm.
Not you are loved. You are love. And you're worthy. You're worthy of those things that you desire. Maybe you need to surround yourself by like minded people. Maybe you need to leave step away from some things and say, I'll be back, but I got to go get what I need.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that is just a moment to get yourself together, because, we may love you with all we have, but sometimes you don't need to hear from us. Sometimes you don't need to hear that. Sometimes you need to step away and spend some me time and figure that thing out.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing wrong with getting some help, but it just goes back to who you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to say you are enough. You are worthy for everything you want. But in your wait, ask God to help you to wait well because He has something for you. And
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger and it's greater than you can ever imagine. Don't we already know that? Hasn't He shown us that? Hasn't He shown us how faithful He is, how consistent He is?
Mm-hmm.
He's shown us what unconditional love looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And these type of conversations that we're having tonight, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
It helps just by you being vulnerable, asking some of these questions that you have asked.
Mm-hmm.
It helps. You helping somebody else, right? Because when I'm around certain people, here's the other thing. I believe there's a seat at the table for everybody. It's how you approach the table,
Ah.
right? Because I'm always, my desire is to be humble and teachable. That's why I say it's a seat at the table for everybody. But how do you approach the table?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't know, You can still sit at a table with a bunch of doctors. You can still sit at a table with a bunch of teachers, right? And just listen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And take it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Yes.
don't steer away from the table, because God has prepared a seat at the table
Ah.
just for you. Just for you. And that's the same way with love.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. That just means you need to work. Just do a little bit more work. Just do some work on the inside. Just
Mm-hmm.
massage your heart a little bit, because it's been hurt. It's been tried and it's been stepped on. Just massage your heart a little bit and, shake that thing off and start
Yeah.
walking who you are.
Ah. Eh.
Walking who you are. And if, you need some help, just, CoachT.com. Little shameless plug.
Coach
Take it over. Take it over.
TEI.com.
Take it over. Okay. Yeah. TEI.
Oh my goodness. Wow. We truly had a mindful conversation tonight. And
Mhm.
I just bless God for always showing up and being in the midst of our conversations. Thank you so much, Coach T. I really appreciate you
Thank
gracing us. We had a great conversation,
thank you.
and I look forward, at another time to get you
Absolutely.
back.
Thank you for
And
sharing
we
your platform.
definitely.
Thank you for sharing your platform. There were two things I forgot to say. May I
Oh
say
yeah.
those? And
Yes. Yes.
I see them here on my sheet of paper. One
Mm-hmm.
thing I want to say, ladies, is things that don't matter too much, don't let them matter so much. And don't let
Mm-hmm.
people come into your life and hijack your agenda,
Ah.
what you were called to do.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing is, people don't get to judge you by the chapter they walked in on. What do you mean, Coach T?
Come on.
If you're 37, that's chapter 37.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 50, that's chapter 50. If
Mm-hmm.
you're 28, that's chapter 28. Because they don't know what happened in chapter 3. They don't
Mm-mm.
know what happened in chapter 6
Come
or
on.
13 or 16.
Mhm.
But the way that we heal is we have to go back and speak to that 13-year-old and say, you know
Yeah.
what? That wasn't right the way they treated us.
Mhm.
But now I have some tools for us. And you got to love on that 13-year-old so that 13-year-old will catch up to where you are. Because if not, that 13-year-old is going to hunger for some things that's going to seep out of you at that age of 48 and at the age of 32.
Come on.
So you got to talk to her and let her know, I got you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And this is how we're going to walk this thing out.
Mhm.
Dr. LaShonne, thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Wow, what a great conversation we had this week. Hungry for love. And all of those that will watch the replay, please hashtag replay in the comments.
Amen.
And we look forward to our next show coming up in 2 weeks. We just thank God for that. And we already have a phenomenal speaker
Amen.
lined up. Oh my goodness. This man of God is my brother, my spiritual brother. I just thank God for him. Just a powerhouse of, okay, I'm not going to go in there. Let me just say, I thank God, and we're looking forward to our next Shifting Mindsets live show, which will be March 18th. That is the Thursday at 7 p.m.
Mm.
He will be here with me, and we look forward to that. So, thank you again for joining us.
Amen.
And until the next time, all right. God
Amen.
bless.
God
Bye
bless.
bye.
Bye-bye.